Oh, I'm fine, Bethany, thank you. You're welcome. I am very concerned about this invasion because in November 21, this has been spoken of, and this is the invasion of North America that began on October 19th in the afternoon. So I think it's something that we need to think about more because the invasion is destined for the United States. I'm sure there will be many troops deployed, but we should all be prepared now if you aren't. And I found videos of it.
Whoa, what a delay. Hey, how you doing? Return this lady down. Um, again, this is one of those spontaneous shows where something is happening and I want to get online and show you what's going on. I started this little fiasco about, let's see, yeah, it's over a half hour ago, which was about 6 a.m. here in Clearwater, Florida, and the shortwave band conditions were better. I won't say good; they were better, and I was receiving a lot of stations. So I thought, oh, let me capture this because it's been a long time since we've had good shortwave. Well, I can't use the word good. Fair shortwave reception. And so I started setting things up, and I'm down in my workshop. Down in my workshop, all I have is, well, I have many computers, but the best one I've got, which I'm using right now, is a Dell. I think it's only a dual core. It might be a quad core. I think it's only a dual core. So it's limited. And I was trying to do a live hangout, or no, a live show, live streaming, which is one of the 3 or 4 options there are on YouTube now. And the beauty of that one is the chat window or bar next to the video is active for me. So I can look at what my camera is seeing and see the chat. So I like to use that when I'm just using the camera. Now, I haven't found any way in that mode to switch between the camera and my desktop. So when I want to use both my camera and my desktop, I do a hangout on the air, which is the old method, but the chat window or bar, whatever, doesn't work. So I lose the chat. So what I have to do is I have to run another computer watching just like you're watching, and I look at the chat so I can see the chat, which I've got now. Whew. The problem with that is I'm using more of my internet bandwidth to upload and stream the video and to download and watch the video at the same time. That could be a problem. So I think it's working now. Let me go to the chat and see if anybody can get in the chat and tell me if the video and the audio is any good. Otherwise, if it's not, I'll just abandon this. I'll go to the old method, which is recording offline, not being on the internet, and upload the show. It's already past 6:30. Let me go over to here and find a keyboard. I'm a little disorganized because I haven't been down here in my workshop in a while because it's been too hot. Let me say hello, see if anybody responds. I can learn how to type. Okay, so that has gone out. I put a hello in the chat. I have 7 people watching. Thank you for coming back. Those are probably, or most of those are probably the 7 people that saw me struggling trying to do the live streaming, and my computer is just not capable of that. So now I'm doing the old method, which is less taxing on my computer, which is to hang it on the air. So what I need now is for somebody to type in the chat whether my audio or video are any good, and if they are, I'll proceed. If they're not, I'll just go back to bed. Okay. So far, nobody's responded. We have 8 people watching. I get, not a lot, but I get a few comments when I do these hangouts on the air or live chats or whatever, live feeds or whatever. Why don't you prepare better? Well, the reason I don't prepare better because I usually use this for things that are occurring instantaneously. Like where I started a half hour ago, the shortwave listening conditions were better. Well, they weren't good, they were better. So I thought, oh, good, I'll record that and have people, I'll go live and I'll have people turn on their radios and see if they can get the stations I'm getting. Da-da-da-da-da. Well, it's taken me over a half hour to get set up. Oh, good, I got some feedback in the chat room. Uh-oh, the video and audio are cutting out. No, it's probably on my end. Oh, it's Brian in Australia. All right, Australia. I wish I could pick up Australia. I used to love to listen to Radio Australia, but they're gone apparently. So that's not working. Let me know if it clears up. If it doesn't, then I'll just have to give up. Like I say, the thing, there's 2 things I'm struggling with here is I'm using a old computer, a very old computer. It's probably 12 years old. And I'm having to use another computer to watch the chat, which means I'm taxing my internet because I'm uploading and downloading at the same time. And I just don't have the bandwidth to do that. Normally it works okay. Now, if I was up in my office where I have a newer, it's about 2 years old, quad-core computer, and it's directly connected. That's the other thing. I'm down here, I'm on Wi-Fi. Up there, I'm directly connected to my router, and so I can do live feeds and stuff like that with no problem, or a few problems. But down here, I struggle. So if it indeed is still choppy, I'll just have to give up. So I'm gonna take a drink, maybe a little bit of tea here, and see what people say. Because it won't do any good if I'm showing you tuning shortwave and the video and the audio is dropping out. It'll just drive you nuts and you'll drop it. Okay, I don't have any more responses in the chat. I'm not sure. I think what I'll do is I'm going to turn up the audio on my computer that I'm monitoring my feed. And that might cause feedback, but at least maybe I can determine myself whether the video and audio is choppy. So let me try that. At least maybe I can determine myself whether the video and audio is choppy. So let me try that. Okay, there's maybe I can determine myself whether the video and audio is choppy. Let me try that. Well, it's kind of interesting because there's there's maybe I can determine myself whether the video and audio is choppy. Let me try that. Why is it repeating? Well, it's kind of interesting because there's I guess that's an echo. Myself. Let me stop that. Okay, like I said, I was afraid that I'd get feedback from my other computer speaker to my microphone. So, but it didn't seem like it was breaking up to me. Yeah, let me watch the video for a few seconds. There's about a 15-second delay between when I say it or do it and I see it on the screen. So let me do a little video thing here and see how that looks. And there's a mosquito. got the door open to my garage or my workshop, and the mosquitoes are streaming in. All right, let me see here. So I'm going to have to wait for a while for it to catch up. Oh, it's longer than I thought. Hello, is anybody out there? There we go. There we go. And there's that mosquito. Let me let me spray myself some insect repellent so I don't get devoured by mosquitoes. Because for me nowadays, when I get bit by a mosquito, it turns into a real nasty sore. I got toxic gas. So I've got to keep myself free of mosquitoes. Okay, Brian, I'm wondering if part of that dropping in and out is on your end. I'm not saying it is, because the few seconds that I listened to it on my end, it seemed to be okay. But of course, I only listened for a few seconds. And the video that I watched, which I'm going to try another little test here, didn't seem to be choppy. So I'm hoping somebody else out of the 15 people that are watching will put something in the chat room to tell me, am I wasting your time or what? So I'm going to do a little video thing with my hand. I'm going to count. And then I'm going to go look at my other computer and see how it comes out, if it does come out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks okay. Not great, but it looks okay. So I don't know why nobody else is commenting in the chat. I could really use those comments to tell me if this is working. Brian has told me that it's choppy and maybe I should give up. I'm going to proceed and just kind of monitor the chat to see if anybody else says that it's worthless. So what I started 45 minutes ago is I had turned on Big Bertha here. I call her Big Bertha. This is my Grundig Satellite 800, which is huge. It's a huge radio compared to other Grundig radios or other newer Grundig, compared to my 750, for instance. It's huge, but it's a great receiver. I think Drake, who made higher quality amateur radio equipment, made the electronics for this radio for Grundig. That's the story I've heard. I've got that. I've got the 31-foot vertical antenna connected to it. And 45 minutes ago, I was getting a lot of stations. And what I was doing is I was using the website short-wave.info to see what stations should be on the air instead of just randomly tuning. And the first one it showed was, and I sorted that list by signal strength at my location. Therefore, I should receive those stations better than other ones. And so I got down to like the fourth one, and I got this station really clear.
He had told me what their favorite fairy tale is, except for my producer. We're going to go to the phone line. We have Neil from Illinois, and he wants to talk about the coyotes in the caravan. Neil, how are you doing today?
Okay, that's 4.84. And I'm going to go back to my computer where I have that listing. I've forgotten already what it was. And that's WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee. So that's about line of sight, maybe 1,000 miles from me. I'm just guessing. That's 1,000 miles, but not really long distance. Now, I tried. Well, my monitor's so far away from me, I can't read it. China radio and 17,490, and I did not get that. Can you turn that up?
National.
No, 0. Now, the good news is the background noise level is down in the mud. My S meter is 0, especially way up at 17.490. So I'm not getting anything there. That doesn't surprise me. Normally, or I used to get China radio down much further, like in the 31 meter band this time of day. Let's move on. Trying to find something that's not in the United States. United States. Okay, here's another China radio. Get out of here, you mosquito. Oh, jeez. I tell you, I am so disorganized. It's still a little bit warm. I'm starting to sweat already. All right. Oh, I screwed up my listing. How did I manage to do that? Hit the wrong button. That's how stupid. Okay, now we are looking at China radio at 11,895. 11,895. Ooh, something there. Pretty weak. Now, if, and this is what I wanted to do, and that's why I'm doing a hangout, if Brian can get to his radio and tune 11,895, since he's on Australia, he should be able to receive China radio much better than me. Now, I don't know exactly where this transmitter is. Let me look that up. It is, see if it's in China or someplace else, because China radio has transmitters all over the world. And let me zoom out here on the map. Yeah, this is coming out of China. So maybe if Brian can tune it, he can tell me if he's receiving it, and maybe I can hear enough here, or he can hear enough here to tell me that's what I've got. Okay, let's close that back down and turn the audio back up for a while. Now, I would guess that if I tuned this a half hour ago when the band conditions seemed better, it would probably be strong enough, it would be intelligible. Now, the other thing is, like I said, the S meter is at 0. So the reason I'm probably picking up these stations now, or I was, is because the noise level is so low that even though the stations are real weak, they're above the noise level, or a little bit above noise level. Yeah, about the comment about 6 a.m., I actually get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. This is in Clearwater, Florida. I used to work for Honeywell, and some of my customers were over in Europe, so I got used to getting up in the morning early, which, it's 4 hours difference. So when I got to work at 4 a.m., it was already 8 a.m. their time, so they were starting. So I'd go to work at 4 o'clock, and then I might call them or have a conference call at 5 a.m., which is 9 a.m. their time. So I got in that mode, and even though I retired, I'm still in that mode. So I'm an early riser. And things are so much quieter first thing in the morning, too. All right. Yeah, the thing about doing a hangout or a live show is it's hard to pick a time when people are available. Now, if I was doing a scheduled hangout, I would probably pick later in the afternoon here, which would be later in the morning in some parts of the world, or just in the evening, like if in Europe. Now, the beauty of China, Australia, New Zealand is it's about 12 to 13 hours difference. So even though it's like 6 in the morning here, it's 6 in the evening there, which is probably ideal for them. Anyway. All right. Let's see what other station we can find. We can try to find out. Let me correct myself. 9330. 9330. Yep, something there. Now that sounds like the Preacher Man, which is in the United States, or mostly in the United States. Let me see what this says. This says this transmitter is in Monticello, which is upper northeast part of the United States, which would be, again, about 1,000 miles from it. So not a big distance. Yeah, Brother Scare, or I call him the Preacher Man. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to find a station that is not in the United States. Like New Zealand. Now I've got New Zealand before at 7425. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah. Music. The S meter is about a 2, and it's coming in okay. Again, I don't know how well my camera and microphone is picking it up. But that's not too bad. I mean, considering, we're right now, as Shortwave's listeners are really desperate. The solar flux index has been below 70, which is terrible. And just band conditions have been miserable. Typically for me in my location, in the winter, starting in October, reception picks up. Even though the solar flux may be bad, reception picks up because it appears that the noise level goes down. And the noise caused by the sun is down. So even though the stations are not coming in any stronger, the noise floor has dropped down below the signal level of the station. So now you're hearing the stations, but you didn't hear anything. I mean, up till a week ago, I could turn on my shortwave radios and it was like they weren't even working. It was just, the whole band was dead, except maybe stations in Florida. But things are improving, at least here. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Okay, let's see what else I can find here on the short-wave.info website, which gives a nice listing of what's on the air. You can pick a time, you can pick a frequency, whatever. I wonder if I can get anything way down there at 4835. 4835. That's supposed to be Aussie. Yeah. Not very good. Oh, there it is. That's clear. 4837. Let me now. The other thing you can do on this shortwave-info is you can put in a frequency. Let's put in that frequency. 4837. Enter. And it says nothing is there. So let me try. There's an option where you can say frequency plus or minus 5 kilohertz. So let's try that. Maybe I still don't have it tuned right. And that says there is a station in Nashville, Tennessee, again, in the United States, and that frequency is 4840. So let's try 4840. Oh, yeah, WWCR. Yeah. That's booming in 4.840. That's WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee. I was not even getting that a week ago, but now it's coming in loud and clear. It's about of S6 on this radio, which is very strong compared to the other stations that I was listening to, which were S1s or 2s. But that's in the United States. So that's okay. Now we're just going to do some random tuning and see what we find. Let me check the chat room. Okay. Brian says Aussie radio is inactive at the moment. Okay. Only Australian on the air at the moment is 4KZ, but they're very low power at 5055. Well, let's try them. Probably won't get them, but we'll try. 5055. No, not here. See, this is why I like to do these spontaneous live shows, is to get the instantaneous feedback from other people of what they can hear on the shortwave bands at their location. And then I'll give it a try. Okay. Any other suggestions about stations to try to listen to? All right, well, I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back to my long listing, which shows I've selected any station in English, because you have to pick either a station or a language. And I'll say what's on right now. And then that gives you a nice long listing. And then you can sort that listing by signal strength at your location. See, that's another thing that's running here. I'm running this website while I'm trying to do everything else on the internet. Okay, we got coming up now is Radio Habana, which I can normally get. And right now it says it's on 6060. 6060. No, not on. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's after 7 o'clock. So I've wasted an hour getting set up and trying things. But Radio Habana, I should get it. It's not that far away, but it's not. I'm not getting it. Okay, Radio Romania, I doubt I would get. 15130. No. Nothing there. Now, for you people that just tuned in, this is my running satellite 800, and I'm using my MFJ 31-foot vertical antenna, which has been my best antenna. My G5RB horizontal antenna is probably second. And probably the vertical antenna is a little better because it's so high in the air. The tip of it is at 31 feet, where my horizontal antenna is only at the peak, it's only like 20 feet. So it's much lower. All right, let's check the chat room. Okay, Brian says that that station is only 1 kilowatt. And it would definitely have to be great band conditions for me to receive it here. So we're not going to get that. All right. I clicked on the wrong button again, as usual. Okay, we're going to see what other station I could possibly receive right now, which is not in the United States. I mean, some people say there's not that many stations on shortwave. Well, if you go and look at these listings of shortwave stations that are constantly being updated, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stations. The problem is, because of band conditions, it's really hard to receive them right now. Alrighty, that one didn't work. Try 93.95. Really weak. Now that is actually in the United States. And it's, okay, it must be off the air. That transmitter is down in Lake Okeechobee, which is in South Florida. So I should receive that loud and clear. So I guess they're just off the air. Let me go back again. I don't know what, I keep clicking on something wrong and getting to the wrong page on short dash wave. I got to go back, redisplay it. All right. I think I'm clicking on the stations. The problem. All right. I said I was going to just tube, which I'll do now. Yeah, Brian, what typically comes through, not necessarily in Florida, like the station I just tried, which is in near Lake Okeechobee in Florida. It's like South Florida. If they're on the air, they're usually pretty strong. Now, WWCR, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, they're almost on all the time, and they're pretty strong. So those are some you could try. Okay, we're just going to tune here. So I'm going to quit talking, and I'm just going to tune on. Okay, there is a station at 9.440, but it's really down in the mud. That, according to the listing, that should be China radio, which when band conditions were better, say 6 months ago, I could get China radio in the morning every morning, pretty clear, in the 31 meter band. But now I struggle to get it at all. I think that's China radio at 9.440. If anybody could verify that, that would be nice. The other thing that I've experimented with is I have a couple of different programs that will record audio, and the program has a squelch control. So until the audio gets to a certain level, it doesn't record, so it doesn't waste your hard drive space, and it doesn't record just a bunch of noise that you got to play through. I've done that before where I've taken a station, for instance, this one right here. I've set up the radio. I've set up that program on the PC to record and let it record all day long, and then go back and see when the station came in. So that's another thing I do. especially when band conditions are so bad. It's there, but it's not intelligible. Let me go on. I'm there. 9.490. Music. Okay, I'm looking it up. And there is a station there, or several stations. Again, another China radio among some other stations. Like even a Voice America is supposed to be on 9.490. Pretty weak. Let me look at the chat room. Is Voice of Korea still on the air? I believe it is. I've not captured it in a while, but I don't. Well, let me be totally honest with you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me look that up. That's another thing you can do on this website, short-wave.info, is you can select a station. So let me see if I can find, is it Voice of Korea or Radio Korea? Voice of Korea. So I can select that, and then I can say go, and it will tell me what's on and what frequency. And there it is on many frequencies. And let's just start at 6070. Let's see. 6070. Probably won't get Voice Korea. Something there. Really weak. Yeah. I'm suspicious that that is bleed over from a medium wave station. Where I live, I have a medium wave station that's only the transmitter is only 5 miles from me. And it's really hard to filter that out of the shortwave band. If I go down to like less than 2 megahertz or less than 3 megahertz, it'll bleed in big time. Usually up here, not so bad, but I suspicious that's what that is. Let's try a different frequency for Voice of Korea, which would be 7220. 7220. Okay, I don't hear anything there. Try 9425. I do hear something, but it does sound like a jammer transmitter. Let me try another one. 9445. Let's tune up to that. Nope. Let's try one more. 9650. Something there. Really down there in the mud. I can hear somebody talking, but it's way down in the noise. Which, like I say, right now with the band conditions the way they are, trying to get something from Korea, going to be almost impossible. Alrighty, I think a little bit of improvement in shortwave listing an hour and a half ago is gone. I'll tune a little bit more and then we'll call it quits. I was hoping I could get online and show you some stations. Or, yeah, whatever. But he did. Something there. 9330. Let me look that up. Sounds like religious. Yeah, that's one of the Overcomer missionary stations, and this one's in Monticello, which is northeast corner of the United States. So that's why I'm picking that up. Again, another United States station. Yeah, that's what that is. Not exciting. Okay, let's in the morning, early in the morning, I can get WWV on 5 megahertz. Pretty easy. Usually, so let's try that right now. Yeah. That's about an S6. Now that is the
coordinated universal time.
There's two voices. There's a female voice and a male voice. My understanding, the female voice is coming from Honolulu, out in the Pacific. The male voice is in the United States, in Colorado. So if you can hear, and the female voice always goes on first before the minute. If you can hear the female voice, you're getting pretty good reception. Well, I'm talking about hearing it here in Florida. You're getting pretty good reception. If you can only hear the male voice, then you got okay reception. If you don't hear either, then band conditions are terrible. So I'm hearing, or I heard, or we heard, the female voice pretty loud, pretty clear. So that's good. That's still saying that the band conditions are kind of holding up, at least to the transmitter in the Pacific. Easier for me to say. All righty. Let me see if we got any more comments. Yeah, Brian's saying he's getting WWE in Australia. Probably getting. Brian, are you getting the female or the male voice or both? That's the key, because the one in the Pacific is going to be much closer to you than the one in Colorado in the western part of the United States. You should have the reverse effect that I have. You should hear the female better than the male, and I hear the female better than the male. Let me turn it back up for a while.
At the tone, 11 years, 25 coordinated universal time.
So you can hear that that's coming in pretty clear. Now let's try at a different frequency, because depending on the time of day and conditions, it will be stronger on certain frequencies than others. In the morning, 5 megahertz is best for me. Try 10. That's strong. Maybe as strong, because it's getting later in the morning. It's almost 7:30 now. See if we hear the female voice.
At the tone, 11 hours, 22 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Okay, I didn't hear the female voice at all. Now, I think that the male and the female voices, which are different transmitters, are all on all of the frequencies, 5, 10, 15, whatever frequencies. So I did not hear the female at all on 10 megahertz. Again, 10 megahertz comes in better later in the morning and at night. Let's go to 15, which usually doesn't come in very good this time of day. No. Terrible. I'm getting some kind of interference there. And it's terrible. Let's see if they're now above 15 megahertz. They don't always broadcast. So you may not hear it because then you may not be broadcasting on its higher frequency. Now the really bad news is there's news going around that WWV is going to cease operation. I'm not sure when, and they even announce it on their stations now that as of, and I don't remember the date, as of so-and-so, the WWV broadcast will cease to exist. Now, there are other time stations throughout the world. Like there's one in Canada, which I sometimes can get, and it's at, I believe, 3330, I believe. Yes. So I can hear that, but as you heard, there's a whole bunch of noise right there on that frequency or around that frequency. I don't know what it's caused by. You know, I've got two computers on. I've got fluorescent lights on in my workshop. That could be added to it. It's been dry weather for the past 2 days. That creates this static on the power lines. That could be it. And of course, it will vary depending on frequency. So at 3.33 is that Canadian time broadcast, and it's 24/7 too. So that may be all that's left. There is some other ones. There's like some in Russia, but they're extremely hard to receive here where I am. All righty. So I think we're about done. Let's just tune down here for a few minutes. Pretty dead. We've got to get to the amateur radio band here. 80 meters. Yep. Amateur radio. Data. Maybe we can hear some voice. Okay, we need a single sideband down here. Lower sideband. If we can turn him in.
Wolf different implications.
There we go.
There could be drawn, and I'm not going to go there. WU5E to take this K88. W5E, what? You're coming in from the kitchen.
This is another way that you can determine whether the band conditions or not is going to the amateur radio bands, which 80 meters, 40 meters, 20 meters, 10, 15, are all the band. The HF band plus their own VHF and UHF. And listen for a call sign like I just heard. And then you can look that up on the internet, which I just did. And that is Lauren Grimes. And does it tell me? Yes, he lives in Texas. So I'm getting him loud and clear from Texas. There's another station there, not so good, really weak. I didn't catch his call sign. There's another station. Now, the other thing about this is a couple of things. One is there's things called nets, which are scheduled on the amateur radio band, certain frequency, certain time, and they talk about a certain subject. You can listen to those. You can look those up on the internet and listen to those, and you will have multiple people on those frequencies at multiple locations. So that's another way of finding out how shortwave band conditions are. There are other frequencies that are, I'll call them popular frequencies, that certain people in certain parts of the world will talk on. Like in Florida, used to be 3.898 was a popular frequency for people just to chat. Again, you could hear multiple people get their call sign and figure out where they are. So that's another method you could use to find out if shortwave conditions are good or not. All right. So I think I'm going to call it a wrap. We gave it our best shot. Unfortunately, when I came down here and turned on Big Bertha, shortwave band was fair. I was getting a lot of stations. So that's when I said, oh, let's get this on the air and we'll do a hangout and all this stuff. Well, it took me a half an hour to do that. So then things started dropping off. And by the time I got everything set up, all those stations started going away and I was down to only a few stations. So that's what happened. I gave it my best shot. One more time, people say, if you're going to do a hangout, schedule it and script it. Well, I don't script my shows. Otherwise, I would just not do them. That would be just, I used to do that, and it was just, I would spend 3 or 4 hours to do a 15-minute show, and it just wasn't worth it. And then the other thing is, I do hangouts on the air mostly when some event is occurring. So I just try to get things set up as fast as I can and get it going. I am hoping now that I can tolerate my workshop as far as the temperature. I'm hoping to get set up more regular hangouts on the air, do them certain time of the week and a certain day of the week. I'm guessing either, I don't want to conflict with Gills, but I want to conflict with his shows. He has scheduled shows about shortwave listening and Kenner listening. So I don't want to conflict with his shows. Don't want to compete because I can't compete. He is much better than me, so I can't compete. So I will try to pick times when he's not doing a show. I think he does shows Monday, Friday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. my time. So I'm going to pick like a Tuesday or Saturday morning for my scheduled shows, if I can get on a schedule. So that's it. I appreciate everybody that showed up for my unscheduled program. I wish it was better. I missed the window where shortwave was good there for a while, and by the time I set up, it was not so good. But shortwave listening for me improves in the winter months. So hopefully it will improve. That's it. Thanks everybody for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye. Now let me check the chat room one more time before we say goodbye. Alrighty, I think that's it. We're going to shut down. Bye-bye. Oh, if you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Bye-bye.